The first time I realized my voice had power, I was in the first grade. We were playing a classroom game, Hollywood Squares, and I knew the answer to the question. So I gave it, confidently, but the teacher said I was wrong. Now, I could have stayed quiet. I could have let it go, but something in me said, no, you need to speak up. I said, hey, I was right. I gave an explanation, I spoke my truth, even when I knew it could get me in trouble. And it did. But something else happened that day too, something that changed everything. The other students in the class, they started to speak up too. They were like, she's right. And I learned something bigger than winning a classroom game. I learned that using your voice can cost you something, but it builds character. And greater than that, it inspires others to use theirs. That's the day I realized that your voice is powerful. And when used for truth, it echoes. We think of voice as just communication, just words. But voice is so much more than just sound. It's your identity. It's your courage. It's your invitation to others to feel, to follow, to act. When we use our voice, we are inspiring others. We're shaping not just the conversation, we're shaping the culture. Here's what history tells us. Every major movement started by a young person who dared to speak. Think John Lewis, just 23, standing on the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial saying, we don't want our freedoms gradually, we want them now. Think high school students in Soweto risking everything to resist apartheid in South Africa. Think Emma Gonzalez standing longer than the shooter that changed her life forever in Parkland, and changing and using that silence for a national movement. Greta Thunberg skipping school to sit outside the Swedish parliament with a handmade sign that sparked global strikes. The students at the University of Cincinnati that dared to bring TED so we can have 10 years of excellence right here on this stage. See, they didn't wait to be invited. They knew their truth and they spoke it anyway. Because movements don't start with money or power, they start with a voice. Years after that first grade moment, I found myself in a very different setting. I was in a church basement in front of community leaders and parents. We were bringing an initiative that was epic. I mean, epic meaning empowering parents in community churches. Now, I have to say this is not an endorsement of religion or church, but our mission was bold. We were bringing STEM education to church spaces. We have to acknowledge that churches, especially Black churches, have been the pillars of community engagement for decades. You could go to church to learn how to cook, to sew, to vote. We wanted to bring STEM education, but not to push in, but to partner, to listen, to honor that culture, that community. So many people told me it wouldn't work. Whitney, church and science don't mix. I remembered that first grade girl. And I said, we're not waiting for families to find STEM education. We're going to bring STEM education to spaces where families already feel valued, seen, and heard. And guess what? It worked. We have over 15 sites around this country teaching STEM education to their community and their youth. We didn't just teach science. We showed families that they lived it in their kitchens, in their gardens, in the rhythm of everyday life. We had the opportunity to launch the epic art gallery. Families took photos of where they see STEM in their world, and when those photos went up on display, I got to see parents, perhaps for the first time, see themselves as scientists, as educators, as innovators. That's the power of voice. When we speak purpose, people can see themselves differently. Now, speaking up is not always easy. The world sometimes teaches us to shrink, to stay quiet, to be grateful to be in the room, but not too loud and not too bold. And then sometimes the voice that we struggle to hear the most is our own. I've been in rooms where I know I was the only one thinking like me. I've had my ideas dismissed until somebody else said it louder. And I've had to ask myself over and over again, do I stay quiet or do I stand up and speak? And every time I choose to speak, something shifts. Not just in the room, but within me. Using voice isn't just about advocacy, it's about ownership. It's your declaration of worth. It's how you communicate your mission and your vision. When we're teaching kids to use voice, we're not preparing them to lead a movement or win a debate. We're teaching them to ask for help when they need it. We're teaching them to advocate for their ideas, to set boundaries, and to dream out loud. That's what I try to do my entire life, with every program, every classroom, every conversation. So I want to leave you with this. Don't wait. Don't wait to be invited. Don't wait until you're someone else's voice. Don't wait till you're older or more accomplished or more ready. Because the truth, your voice isn't more powerful later. It's powerful now. I think about that 6-year-old girl who spoke up even when she knew she was right, even when it cost her something. And I think about how that one moment sparked a life built on using my voice to create space for equity, for justice, and for impact. Because when we speak, we lead, we heal, we build movements. The best part, you can too. So don't whisper, speak.